Hi guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a little while. I've been away working for a whole month and I've come back. But meanwhile, I have been doing a little experiment. Those of you who've been watching the channel for a little while will know back in May, nearly 5 months ago, maybe longer, I'll put the exact number of days on the screen. We did a nano tank, which is behind me. And I did a little experiment. I knew that I was going to be shutting this down at some point because I'm going to be moving house. And I wanted to see what happens if I just leave it to itself. All I've done with this is feed it and top the water up where necessary and left it to its own devices. Some things have really surprised me, other things not so much. Some things have done really well, some things haven't. So let's take a quick look. Now I'll put on screen now the tank when we first built it. It was just a little experiment. We used some dragonstone, some fluval stratum. We put some plants in there. We put some baby guppies and some baby shrimp and a couple of ramthorn in there. Now, most of them done all right. The shrimp not so well, but let's take a look at the tank now and how it looks. I think you'll be pretty impressed. For those of you who watched the original video will know that we put the stratum in and we put little bits of Monte Carlo here, which to be fair have taken off quite well. We haven't been dosing this with any fertilizers. We've got the Anubias back there doing quite well, and then this polysperma and one I can't remember at the back. So let's take a quick look at the inhabitants. As you can see, these were the baby guppies we put in. So not only do we have the baby guppies that have grown up, they've had their own little tiny babies too. You see them at the front, quite a few of them, and they're doing really well. Quite a pretty male there, if he would stop swimming. Goes. Now, this tank's quite dark, and I'll show you the reason for that in a minute. If you look round the side, we can see in there most of the plants have done pretty well. You'll notice there's not many ramthorns in here, but there are a couple of smaller ones. But we've also got some pest snails, which are in there that we didn't put in there at the beginning. Have a look around this side. So it is quite dark in here, like I said, but we do have a ramthorn snail here, and there's a couple more dotted about. So that's that. If you can look here, one of the shrimp have survived, and it's got quite large now, really big, pretty impressive. I'm quite happy with that. That will go back in the main tank at some point. Now, the thing that has really surprised me is this absolute mass of plants on top. So I saw that this was growing out the back here, and I thought I'd leave it to see what happened. And right under the light, this is why it's so dark in the tank. Just look at the growth on that plant. It's pretty impressive. I'm really surprised by how that's done it. And I think that's the secret of why this has stayed so healthy, because the plant's grown above, photosynthesize better, get more nutrients out of the water. So if we move that over to one side, just look at that. Absolute lump of plants there. And we look back in the tank, you see how much extra light is let in just by moving that. So if we look a bit closer there, we can see we've got another ramthorn there. Now the thing with ramthorns is they only really reproduce up to the volume of food you have, which is quite handy, so they don't go crazy in such a small tank. Like I said, there's a little shrimp there. Actually quite a big shrimp now. That's the only one that survived of them. But there's probably, have a look. If we have a look, you've probably got 10 to 15 little babies in there swimming around, which is quite good. Let you see them for a couple. So I'm quite surprised with the guppies. The thing with guppies is they reproduce at such a small size. So it's no surprise we've got little babies there. Okay, so that's a little update video on this tank. like I say, I'm now going to dismantle this tank, take it apart, clean it up, put the fish back in one of the main tanks, and then this will be a nice new tank to set up when we get into the new house, which shouldn't be too long. I really enjoyed that, and I think it's something I might do in the future, letting the plants grow out of the water, and on top I think it looks nice. I'm really pleased with it. I haven't done many videos recently. I will be getting back on top of it. There's lots of things. I've got to break my koi pond down. I've got to break the other tanks down, reset them up, possibly a new pond and new tanks in a new house. So that being said, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do, and watch out for all the new videos that will be coming in the future. Until then, keep being a fin nerd, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.